10:10 Bible Study. Jump into the Word with us.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Will, and I'm excited because I'm coming at you today with Ephesians chapter 4 for our 10:10 Bible study. Paul starts off Ephesians chapter 4 by reminding us that we are called to live like Jesus. But then I think about how Jesus lived. He was nice to people that weren't nice to him. He loved people that didn't love him. And then he died on a cross so that we could spend eternity with him up in heaven. Jesus was on a whole nother level. How am I supposed to live up to that, right? Well, Paul simplifies that in Ephesians chapter 4 into three different things that we can do as Christians in order to live more like Christ. Those three things are unity, maturity, and nonconformity. I'd love to cover all three today, but unfortunately I'm just going to stick with unity right now, but you should read the rest of Ephesians to learn a little bit more. All right, so here's what Paul says about unity in verse 4. For there is one body and one spirit, just as you have been called to one glorious hope for the future. There is one Lord, one faith, one baptism, and one God and Father of all, who is over all, in all, and living through all. So God has called us to be unified as a church, and it's been awesome. Over the past couple weeks, people have come from all around Haymarket and Warrenton in order to come with us, unify with us, and serve our community as we kind of go through this COVID quarantine thing, right? And people are getting sick and people are looking for toilet paper, but the church has come together with other people in order to provide for the needs of the community. And that is what the church is about. We come together and we're unified to serve the community. Now, what this also means, though, is that we all have gifts and talents that we are supposed to use. But not everybody has the same gifts and talents. But Paul talks about that. However, this is verse 7. He has given each one of us a special gift through the generosity of Christ. We all have special gifts and talents in order to accomplish one goal, which is the kingdom work of God. And so I was thinking about this. What does this look like? Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever built anything, whether it's IKEA furniture or something from scratch, you've probably used several tools in order for you to accomplish that goal, right? Maybe you've used screwdrivers just to put screws in the wood. Maybe you've used a hammer, right? Because you need something a little bit more powerful to drive nails in. Maybe you've used a measuring tape because you need to measure twice and cut once, right? And if you're like me, you'll probably have to measure several times. Or maybe you need a little bit more power, and so you use a drill, right? And so we all have different talents, just like if we're building something from IKEA or building something from scratch that we can use in order to accomplish God's kingdom work. And this is awesome because that means we come together and we unify based off of our different talents and gifts. Now, Paul continues to talk about what this will look like if we continue to work together and be unified. It's covered in verses 13 and 14. This will continue until we all come to such unity in our faith and knowledge of God's Son, that we will be mature in the Lord, measuring up to the full and complete standard of Christ. Then we will no longer be immature like children. We won't be tossed and blown about by every wind or new teaching. We will not be influenced when people try to trick us with lies so clever that they sound like the truth. Guys, when we focus on Christ and we focus on the fact that we're trying to stay unified as a church, we're not going to get blown side to side by the different thoughts and feelings of everybody else who don't love Jesus. You know, and this is crazy because when it comes to this idea of unity, it sounds easy. And it should be easy, right? It's just simple. It's people coming together to do what Jesus did, which was love people, and he gave to people, and he was gentle and he was kind, but he also spoke truth. And so I don't know about you guys, but I do want to measure up to what Jesus has for me and measure up to the standard and the full glory of God. And so when it comes to this idea of being unified, let's come together, just like Paul is talking about in Ephesians, and be unified for Christ so that we can continue to grow up. Because I don't know about you guys, at some point we need to stop being immature, because immaturity is easy, right? Anybody can be immature. Anybody can do what the world is telling them to do. But if we want to live like Jesus, that means we need to make sacrifices. We need to make decisions to do the right thing, not necessarily the most fun thing or entertaining thing. And that is what Paul talks about in Ephesians chapter 4. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Read more of Ephesians chapter 4 to find out the other two things, and we will see you guys later at the next 10:10. Bye. Maybe I won't see you. This is all fogged up, but later.
10:10 Bible Study. Jump into the Word with us.